Right, that's a big body.
Oh, that's so mean to her.
To hit the floor at that velocity?
Velociraptor.
Let's go. Let's do it.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Hi.
Hello.
Welcome back. My name is Brittany. I got a hair in my eye. This is my wife, Bridget. And together we are neither funny nor original.
Yes.
So, welcome back to this week. This week we are still going on our Antisocial Pride Month Club, where us introverts are just talking about how we celebrate Pride Month. This week is going to be celebration of queer films. But before we get into it, we have this week's sponsor, Bridget.
Me.
Take it away with our word of the week.
So the word of the week, I thought I would keep it real quick. You know, I almost like adjusted right here because I thought it was my work headset in the microphone. I was like, oh, you know, I want to move the microphone out of the way. My bad. Word of the week.
Yes.
Wanted it to go along the themes of pride, right?
Correct.
This is a term that I use for myself and for people in general because I don't know how they identify. But the word is queer, which is an umbrella term for identities that fall outside of heterosexual and or cisgender norms. It can refer to sexual orientation, gender identity, or both. Once used as a slur, it has been reclaimed by many in the LGBTQ plus community as a term of pride, resistance, and fluidity. And I will say, I have been more comfortable with using the word queer for myself because, more comfortable using the word queer versus bisexual because I think that I've actually been attracted to like trans people. I've been attracted to, I guess, people where I don't know their gender identity. So it's kind of like, you guys, Maple's, if you hear her in the background, she just had her greenie and she's very happy about it. It's just, it feels like a comfortable term for me. And I understand that that has not always been the case. And it's something that had to have been reclaimed by people. But I just feel like it's a word without having to go deep into like a full on commitment of a title.
Identity or something? Yeah. I like that. Side note, we did not give her pill.
God dang it.
Staring at me. Should I give it to her now and you want to cut it?
No, we will do it later.
Okay. Later.
We're going to power through this.
Okay. We're going to this is us powering through.
Yes. So because we're powering through because it's a Monday after work.
Yeah. Oh yes, that too. It is also 7:15.
7 o'clock.
And it looks nice and bright outside,
yes.
which I love. I love these long days, these long nights.
You know what? Okay. I have to ramble about this a little bit. I love that part of the Pacific Northwest where keeps it bright and sunny until like 9:30 p.m. Love it. But my one gripe is, why does it always have to be windy on a sunny day? I just want to know why.
Have you found that to be true?
Every single time it's been sunny.
Interesting.
80 degrees this week? 90 degrees the past couple of days. Windy. Why does a girl with allergies have to suffer on a nice sunny day when you just want to open up the windows and let the earth be among you?
Without the pollen?
Yeah, I would love that.
Yeah.
Government, can we do something about this?
I understand.
Maybe it's all the trees.
But it is odd then. Yeah, I didn't realize that. But I don't struggle like you do, so I'm not even aware of it. I'm sorry.
The suffrage.
Also, my sister had sent me a video and I looked it up as well. But that just a little tidbit that the L in LGBT, it being the first, was intentional. And that's to acknowledge the significant contributions and support provided by the lesbian community, particularly during the AIDS crisis, and to recognize the often overlooked place of lesbians in the queer community. I thought that was really cool. I never really looked at to why the acronyms are the way they are, but I thought that it's really cool that it was intentional that the lesbians would go first.
I did, yeah. I didn't ever think about like who was the committee that said this is the order that we're going to go in.
I think it was like the acronym committee. Yeah,
all those gays.
Yeah, rallied together.
The queers.
Yeah,
love that. Thank you.
So today Maple's thirsty in case you hear in the background.
She says, I am going to be part of this freaking episode, whether you let me or not.
Yeah, I agree. So I don't know if you had anything scheduled, planned, ready for action, but talking about movies. So last week we talked about queer literature, and we had like a stack of books that we each talked about that were kind of our favorites. I have yet to read this week since the last filming of it.
I agree.
I've been really bad with reading in general, but particularly finishing what I started. But more on that later. I have still 2 weeks to hopefully finish something. But
don't you have like 3 or 2.5?
I have them stacked. I've stacked them all up on the side of my bedside table. And I'm like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. But then I get in bed and I'm like, but I should probably go on my phone for a little bit, go on YouTube, all the things that I missed.
Music on,
I am doing this to myself. I keep saying, I don't need the phone in the room. I need to be better. But it's just, I have not broken it yet. Working on that.
Yeah. I feel like every night we tell ourselves like, oh, we're going to go to bed earlier. And it hasn't happened. I don't know what happens, but like it'll be like 9 o'clock and we're like, okay, ready to start getting ready to bed for bed. And then next thing I know, it's 11 p.m. and I'm barely getting into bed.
It's really bad.
I don't understand.
Today's going to be different. And then I look at the clock and I feel like
it's already tomorrow.
So yeah. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's already 11:30. I need to break this. Tonight's probably not a night that I'm going to break it.
No.
But what's interesting is that, well, it's not actually interesting. It's actually very joyful, I would say. Bridge and I have gone to the movies.
Oh, yeah.
Twice.
Yes.
Twice in the last week.
And we've watched 2 or 3. 2?
Oh, wait.
3.
3.
What was the third one?
We can count.
3 movies at home.
What was the third one? No, 2.
2.
Okay. So last week
we started a third. We didn't care for it, so we stopped it.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Okay. So we are going to talk about queer films, but I do want to also say that it has brought me a lot of joy to get back into watching movies because, Bridget and I were actually just talking about this. So when we lived in California, before we moved up here, we were both working. We would drive into the office. So Bridge had like a 40-minute commute. And then I had like a 20-minute commute. And I feel like we were able to binge more content. And by binge, I mean literally just come home, make dinner, watch an episode or 2 of something, not sit for hours. But I just feel like every day we were like, okay, what do you want to watch? Since we've moved up here, I feel like we haven't been able to really make that time. And I like we were just talking about how it seems like maybe. How'd you throw your back out?
Once again, trying not to hit the microphone. If you're listening, I was moving something and I'm like working around the microphone. Work.
But I feel like when we were commuting to the office, we allowed ourselves to come home and kind of just be thrown on the couch. Since we've moved up here and we work remote, so I mean, yeah, remote, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I was like, wait a minute. How do we work? Yeah. We are constantly at home, so it feels like. Because we're already at home, we don't have the ability to watch something. We need to do other things to be productive.
Yeah, I don't know why we don't give ourselves that freedom.
Case. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't know why I kept talking when you were still talking.
Oh, no. I mean, you're still, yeah.
I don't know why we don't allow ourselves that freedom. What is that? Sound like an
oxygen machine. It was just your foot sliding along the thing.
I forget you don't have headphones on. So I'm like, what are you hearing? Because I hear nothing.
Like, it actually sounds like Darth Vader's mask. So maybe let's not drag our socked foot across the bar, okay?
They're not gonna hear it.
Okay, well, I am.
I started to try to make the noise, but I had too much spit in my mouth, so it just sounded weird.
Okay. So, anyways, we have also wanted to prioritize, neither funny nor original, the podcast. We have the podcast, the journal, the merch. What else? Now the YouTube channel. Bridge is editing everything. So it was like, okay, how do we do all of that plus work plus all like the personal stuff in our life and then still make time for movies or film? It just felt like we weren't able to sit in front of the TV.
Yeah.
But we recently rolled out. Why did we roll this out?
Because the only day to see the movie on the time that we wanted to see was to go midweek.
Oh, okay. So
I
we
think.
decided we are implementing. It's 1 week only, but this is a new thing for us. Okay. Movies during the week. Okay.
Yes. Like
And
going
so-
to the theater.
Yes, getting out of the house,
Theater.
leaving this house to go to the movies. Now, it just so happens 2025 is a banger year for so many
is.
movies that I'm like, oh yes, I will see that one. I will see that one. I will see that
Yeah.
one. So many of them, I'm like, okay, yes. Even if they look a little cheese, I'm like, I'm down. Let's get out. Let's go see
Yeah.
it. It started with Thunderbolts. Oh, that one was
So good.
excellent. I was not really wanting to see that, to be honest.
I think people farted.
Mabel has no shirt, but don't distract.
smells like
Don't call her.
Okay.
So it started with that one.
Yes.
Great movie.
Wonderful.
And
Love
then-
Florence. You smell it.
And then she's like, if you're not gonna hold me, then you're gonna hold this. Hold your breath. So it started with that, and then we saw Mission Impossible on Sunday. So actually, it's not gonna be 2 movies a
Not
week.
2
It
movies
just
a
worked
week,
out this way. But that's kind of a win for us. I feel such a difference knowing that we have something to look forward to midweek instead of just this long week waiting for the weekend.
Yeah.
And then I also kind of changed my schedule around a little bit, so where I'm taking off early on Fridays to like do errands and clean the house and everything, so we have a full weekend to record, even though we're recording on a Monday. Things got messed up.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's kind of the win for us. I feel like it's already helped so much, partially because it's kind of like coming back to the thing that we love that kind of started this whole thing,
yeah.
which is like film, wanting to talk about films, our love of films, but also just I think it's actually just our love of films and books, music, all kinds of things. So it's like, guys, you can enjoy life, get out, go see movies. Like that's what I'm telling myself. Like,
Yeah.
Go out with your wife and enjoy a movie midweek. You're a grown woman. You don't have anything else going on. So that's kind of my win and my encouragement to you guys as well too, of just have something that you look forward to. Make it like a Wednesday thing of every Wednesday. I go to Starbucks and I sit in there for 20 minutes and not on my phone or on your phone if that's what you want to do, but just something to have something to look forward to, because the week is long and it drags on, and so do I. So now on to this, the queer films and stuff. We talked about, we weren't going to like rattle off all of them because that would be too long. Because last week we were like, well, it was kind of long too.
Kind of like tried to blast through it. And it's like, okay, well, wait, we can step back and just have like a conversation about some of our favorite ones. And
which
maybe
I do like.
List, how about, I'm not going to commit to, because I already haven't written the blog post for last week with the literature.
Oh,
how about I just make one good post for June?
Of like all
on the
our
website.
favorite.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Also, we can put and I don't know if you want to do it for this one or if you really want to just be reserved for the blog. No. But all the movies maybe we mention in here, so they don't have to like
caption?
stop. I don't know about you guys, but when I'm watching stuff, I'm like, pause. What did they say? What was the name of the book? And then
okay. Oh,
so
actually,
we can like drop it in there
yeah.
for you of just look in the not the comments, the bio thing.
Description.
There you go. And we'll list it all there for you. But then we will do a big dump in a blog post. Which I've been really bad with the journals. Did you hear it in that? I've been really bad with writing because I feel like I have nothing to say. But we will do a big one for Pride, which is probably the one we do every year.
That is true.
Just one post.
The quarterly report.
Yes.
Quarterly post.
Do you want to take it away, love?
I do. Sure. So I am going to hit you with a movie that we both love.
Okay.
And I will tell you why I loved it, but I want to hear why you love it. And it's called Love, Simon. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's like a cute little...
It's on my list.
Is it? Mm-hmm. I didn't think it would be.
It was only on my list because I looked up LGBT movies because I'm like, what are all the movies that I watched? That one was on it. I was like, oh, that was a good one. So
that was my exact... That's my exact... Like, oh, it's so heartwarming and so like... I feel like I've grown past that age range of enjoying movies for like, well, duh, you're 36, 35. And like, of course this isn't targeted towards me anymore, so I feel like but this movie was so much more than just the teenager. I felt like it was the whole family too. I specifically remember seeing Jennifer Garner in it and loving the way that she portrayed the mom because I'm not going to tear up, but it really felt like she was just like, I just want to be there for my kid, however I need to be there for them.
Yeah.
And of course, you know, that wasn't our experience, but thinking about like when we have kids, that's the kind of mom I want to be. No matter what it is, like I just want to be there to support and guide and be like a shoulder to lean on.
Yeah.
So that's why I love the movie. Why do you love it?
I think I love it for the same reasons. There was a brief scene I remember too where Josh Duhamel, his character is trying to joke with his son after the fact, almost like bros, like let's kind of like not make this awkward, but he was making it awkward and he didn't necessarily need to be. And I think it was him not sure how to interact with his son. It's like he wasn't sure now how to approach his son, knowing that his son is gay, as if that would have made a difference with how he approaches his son. Yeah. And how he interacts with him. But I really liked it though too, because I do feel like we've aged out of it.
Yeah. But it's like a comfort.
It's a really good movie. I love like where it's set to, where they filmed it. But I think I really appreciate movies with gay men who are straight presenting. Just because it's I'm sorry. I do get tired a lot of, it seems like we are always given one specific gay man. Okay. And we do this a lot. We twin. It's but that kind of gets old to me. And I love to see, just a variety of gay men and their experiences. And not everyone is flamboyant. Not everyone walks a certain way. Not everyone. So like to have now a young man coming up that's in high school, he's straight presenting. He's, you know, trying to wrestle with his own sexuality and all of that. I just love that. That movie, it really is a comfort movie. Now I want to watch the movie because
me too.
They did it so well. There were so many moving moments in that movie. I do wish that we had the same like coming out experience with parents that were just like wanting to be there for their children. But I think that it's just a really good movie to watch in general, because it also gives you the feeling, aside from the gay storyline, him coming out, I think it gives me the feeling of Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say.
Of just that adolescence, like when I see those movies, it just does something to me of just, I love it, like that feeling that you had when you were growing up. I mean, I was homeschooled like through high school, but I would imagine
you had church friends. That's
true, and it does kind of remind me of that. Like we made our own little high school unit, but that movie, it gives me a lot of nostalgia. I love it so much. And we were already out, right? Or no, I don't think we were out yet when we saw that one.
Well, let's see.
But I think it was a really good movie. I love it. What's another one that's on your list?
Hold on. So Love, Simon came out in 2018.
We came out the year before.
Yeah, that was a good one. Excuse me.
Oh.
I don't know if you're going to remember this one, but when I show you, you're going to remember. The movie is Uncle Frank.
Oh, yeah. My brother told me to watch that one.
Yes. Interesting, right? Because it's not something that I would have expected from him. And he was like, you have to watch it. I love it. And then when we watched it, I was like, he loves this. It's such a good movie.
Wow.
So
I have to look at who the actor is.
Here's just a quick summary of the movie. Frank is removed from his small town. I think I wrote this, so if it doesn't make sense, it's my fault. Frank is removed from his small town family. He's a professor in the city, and he's adored by his niece. And so his niece decides to surprise him in the city with her boyfriend, and like shows up at his house, and it happens to be like a time where he's going to be throwing a dinner party. And that's when the niece realizes that he's actually gay and that the uncle is gay and living with his boyfriend. And
I don't remember that part.
Yeah, so like she just shows up, and then her boyfriend tries hitting on him, and that's when he has to tell her like, hey, I don't think you should be seeing this boy. So then this big like tragedy happens where his dad and her grandpa passes away. So then they take a road trip back home.
Okay, that's what I remember.
And that's when all of this stuff, like, you know, their family doesn't know that he's gay. So when
they do.
They do?
I think so. I think that's why they shunned him.
Oh,
or they don't want him
I don't
around.
remember that part.
Now we have to watch that one again.
We do need to watch that again. But I've got
really good one.
a side note trivia for you. When I was doing research, I saw.
Hit me.
So the film draws on the personal experiences of its creators. Director Alan Ball was inspired by his own coming out story and the discovery of a close friendship between his late father and a man named Sam Lasseter, which led him to imagine a hidden romance. Actor Paul Bettany, who portrays Frank, brought a deeply personal connection to the role. His father came out as gay at 63, but returned to the closet after his partner's death, influenced by Catholic guilt. But Bettany, Bettany,
yeah, it looks like that,
found a vial of his father's partner's ashes after his passing, a discovery that profoundly impacted him and informed his portrayal of Frank.
He found a vial of his father's ashes.
Of his father's lover's ashes.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's sweet.
That's really sad, right? Mm-hmm. That's it's a very moving movie.
That was a really good. Now I want to watch this movie again. This was so good.
So good.
I do really love that movie. And this I love too when they're if I recall correctly, this one had a really nice balance of some humor.
Yes.
With the grief and what is like essentially a really difficult story, with everything that's going on with them. And those are my favorite movies. I think dramedies, like that genre is really, it works for me because I don't want to just be sad and I don't want to just be laughing. But yeah, this one was a really good one. I feel like I'm curious to see everything on your list because, okay, based off of your list right now, is there any that don't have to deal with the whole point of the story is them coming to terms with their sexuality, having to hide it, coming out, any of that? That is just, it happens to be queer, but it has nothing to do with the sadness of coming out or not coming out.
I would say, so I broke it up between movies and TV.
Okay.
I would say TV probably has like less of the sadness of the coming out or the focus of coming out. But I'm looking at the movies like honorary mentions that I have on here, plus the ones that I actually want to talk about. And I think like a good chunk of them, majority of them, are about coming out or some kind of grief and losing someone. Why?
No, I'm just wondering because are you now, we've been together 14 years.
Yeah.
Have you met your limit now to the stories that I guess the very similar stories that we're told? Like, it's going to be a gay movie. Oh my God, that looks so good. But just so you know, like, they're really depressed and they haven't come out yet, or they're, struggling to come out. Or are you over that yet? Or do you feel like, actually, I still don't mind?
I think I'm over it when it feels like it's commercialized or when it's used to the purpose is supposed to make me sad or make me feel a certain way. I feel like these two movies so far have made me feel that way by just showing these characters in their lives, like the situation. It didn't feel like this person sat down specifically to write a moving story about somebody coming out. Yeah. It's more like, these are the characters, this is their story.
Okay.
And I'm just a saddie all around, so
that's true.
I will always go for something that makes me cry. Yeah. I have a list of fics that I know will make me cry. Yeah. And I'll return to them occasionally.
Yeah. Okay.
So like not necessarily, but just when it's used to try to like be like the thing, you know what I mean?
I see what you're saying.
It's like throwing a bi character in just because it's cool. I'm not into that.
Okay. That makes sense.
You?
I am, but I try to think, well, what other stories? I mean, not that we're not capable of telling more interesting stories about, gay, queer characters. I think that we are also almost like, it's fairly new for us to be able to be out, It's not like, it's decades and centuries. No, actually it's, the gay rights movement was, just a few years ago. So we're not as far away from it as sometimes, we may feel, or it might, I don't know. I think that because of that, I would imagine then I have to remember that we have centuries of untold stories, which they're all going to have a similar theme because we've all been forced to be silent and to suffer. So unfortunately, it's just that we're in an era right now where it's like we have not run out of stories that are built on our suffering and the telling of our suffering, because we have had to endure a long time of that suffering. So it's like everyone's story is different. Are you okay?
Well, I just had a thought of, well, isn't that kind of all filmmaking? Telling some like tragic story? Because I was thinking, well, if the Black community is still making movies on like slavery or Martin Luther King Jr. or, things like that. And that's actually not as long ago either. I think my concept of time is a little skewed because a lot of times I'll think like, oh, that was so long ago, but it's not. It wasn't that long ago. Yeah. Where each of our communities have suffered in big ways, and we're all fighting to get our story out there. So that way we can approach the like lighthearted season of our communities. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that it's just, for me, where I'm coming from is that I wish we had movies where maybe it's these, what are they? Are they still called blockbuster movies? I don't know. But like these mega movies where action movies or like comedies or anything like that, where the point of it, the whole story, perfect example is The Banquet. Is it called The Wedding Banquet?
Yes.
We'll probably
the one that I want to see.
Yeah. It looks good. But the whole thing is, even a comedy or something that's kind of light, and I think that's more like a dramedy, it's having to do around staying in the closet, coming out, wrestling with family. So it's like, even if we branch out into these other genres, all of it is still kind of about the suffering, like about what we are going through, versus like, I don't just, maybe even Killing Eve. Killing Eve I was not aware. It had nothing to do with sexuality. Yeah. And at some point then we see that there's some chemistry there, and, but it's like this whole other world that made it so interesting that was like the least thing, that you were focused on. It was like this, they were trying to catch each other, kill each other, who's good, who's bad, is this like layers and layers and layers of it, that I was like, what is going on? The story is wild. Yeah,
that was, it was a struggle because I had already like my list of movies, but I was like, okay, what are the top queer movies out there? They were all about coming out, and which
is not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing, but I do feel the struggle of, okay, give me movies where it is about a queer person, but it's not about them coming out or even them being gay. It's just like, it's I want it to be as normal as their hair color.
Yeah. I want, give me a story with queer characters at the focus, but make it interesting enough where you never have to mention their sexuality. Yeah. You never have to explain, oh, that's your girlfriend. Yeah. How did your parents take it? I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear it. Yeah. I just want it to be so just, it is what it is.
I agree.
I just thought about one. What did I think about? Okay. But it was a movie. I mean, it was a book and then it was a movie. In the book, they were gay. Fried green tomatoes.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
In the movie,
they're not gay.
They took that out. But I felt like there was actually chemistry there. So where you kind of feel it a little bit.
Okay.
But I do think that I wish they would have left it because, it's in the book. It is about their relationship and their friendship with one another. But there was some wild stuff going on there that like it kept me interested. Remember the whole thing with the...
I will be very, very honest with you.
You don't remember it?
I don't remember it.
Okay. Essentially, the bigger parts towards the end. Is it Ruth? I can't remember the main characters. There's two main characters, both of the girls. But her husband is like abusive, and then
I do remember that part.
She's kind of hiding, and then the husband is killed, and we don't know if he was in the soup.
Oh yeah,
or something like that.
Yes.
So it's like all these parts of like the small town, but then we're also put back into present day, which is Kathy Bates. Is that who it was?
Oh my God. How do I not
Oh my
remember
gosh, you need to watch that movie again.
I do.
Oh my gosh. I guess I'll do it for you. Yeah, for Kathy Bates, where then it's her character and she's like going through menopause and she's talking with someone who's telling a story about I think it's Ruth and Iggy or something like that. I can't remember. But the two ladies, you don't remember?
Babe. It's soup coming out my ears right now.
You see, like there was like this whole drama with the town, and then her brother like dies in the beginning of the movie.
Okay,
and it like just so there's so much going on that's you don't even need to. I wish they would have left it because it was a beautiful love story and friendship in the movie. But I do wish there was. The most interesting thing was not their sexuality, but like give me some other cool stuff going on in the movie.
There was so much, so many other events in this book and this movie that their relationship would not have been the focal point.
No, I think
it just would have been nice to see.
Yeah, it's so special, and their relationship is very vital to the story. But there was also other wild stuff going on.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my only thing. What about what else is on your list?
Well, I've said 2. What do you got?
Well, I just had 1, fried green tomatoes.
Oh.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you guys a little secret. Every year I try to, but I don't. I try to at least one of them, but I have a holy trinity, and I know I shouldn't refer to it as this of my gay movies, but it is my holy trinity that I try to watch Disobedience, Carol, and Ammonite every year.
She does at some point in the year.
I do. I usually will try to make time for it. Make time for these movies. Now, Disobedience. I won't even go into it too much. I love Disobedience for the story of the religious, would you say oppression of what?
We talked about this last one in the last episode, and there was a word for it that you gave.
It was like ethno-religious. Yeah. That one is dealing with the main point of that movie is they're coming out.
Not even fully coming out. It was just like their hidden relationship.
Yeah.
Because did they come out?
Rachel
came out. Yeah, Rachel had been out.
But no, the other Rachel though too. This is Rachel McAdams and Rachel. It's Vice, right? That's how you would say it. And Rachel Weisz's dad is the main one of the head
rabbis.
Yes, and he passes away, so she has to return back to her Jewish community. But she has left. She's now in the real world, and so it's like she's there. They don't really accept her. She's kind of worldly because she's a photographer, and she left. But like reconnecting then with her. I think they were maybe teenagers.
Yeah.
Rachel McAdams' character, who's very much still in the community, and she's married to one of their best friends from when they were growing up. So it's a situationship, you would say. But I love it. I think this was this a book? I can't remember. Yes, it is a book actually. Yeah. I really love this movie for a lot of different reasons. One, it has to do with the Jewish community, which we talked about last week. I'm really interested. I'm fascinated with learning more about them. But I could relate so much to the story, but not even to that extreme. And my heart always goes out to people that are just so committed within these communities, and it's where their religion and their culture kind of meets, and you having to leave your, either I leave this altogether, or I stay in here and I'm gonna pretend to be something that I'm not. So I really liked it for that reason. I am a huge fan of Rachel Weisz. I love that woman. But I thought it was really beautiful how they did it. There's towards the end, the husband, maybe you thought thirsty, but the husband of what he says towards the very end of the movie, it makes me cry every time. But it's a really good one, especially if you really if you did come from a religious background. There's so many questions you have and what you wrestle with and what's right, what's not right. I just thought this was a really, really good movie. What about you?
I agree. Everything that you just said is my favorite thing too. But I have a question for you, which I think I kind of already know the answer to.
Yes.
But you know how in movies like My Policeman, you were not into it because it was a gay man that married a woman but was still very much gay. Actually, maybe it's not the answer I'm thinking of. So in My Policeman, he married this woman and then ended that relationship, right? The gay relationship. No. He continued to see while they were married?
Yes. They would meet up.
Did. Okay, then I do know the answer to this. In this movie, Disobedience, let me back up. Your thing that you've always told me is that you have an issue with people who cheat. Is it the cheating aspect of it that you have an issue with, or the fact that they were gay and did not share that with their partner?
Yeah, I don't like gay people. It's both. It's the cheating that I am not a fan of.
Because in My Policeman, he was actively cheating on his wife, who was unaware that he was gay. That's what you didn't like about it, right?
Yes, and almost like a failure to acknowledge the fact that this is wrong. It was almost like sometimes I get the feeling, and it's not just from that movie specifically, but I think other movies too, where almost like specifically My Policeman, I'm a victim because I'm gay and I can't be out. Therefore, I have the right to cheat on my spouse who knows absolutely nothing about me being gay and me having a relationship with another man, because I'm a victim, because I can't be out. And that for me is not an excuse to cheat on your partner. Right. And I think that, it's just I'm not a fan of that. And Disobedience, because the two Rachels,
she does cheat on her husband at some point.
Yeah. So I guess I still wasn't a fan of that necessarily, but I feel like that was essential to what we're learning about Rachel McAdams' character and what she needs to do. And I also didn't feel, personally for me, I don't know if you felt this with the story. Okay, I felt like it was one of those things where there was a genuine love for each other between the three of them. Okay, because like childhood best friends. So I feel like, I know what they must feel like. We grew up together. We're a community. We love each other. So I felt like the two Rachels had a genuine love for each other. I did not feel like they were in love with each other. I felt like when Rachel Weisz's character came back, Rachel McAdams was like,
she is on one tonight.
That it was like, okay, I still have these feelings. Yeah. And almost like Maple.
It's almost like I don't know what your Maple too. Okay.
Not that I think it was just a hookup, but I think that it was a reconnection and something to solidify in Rachel McAdams' character that she needs to leave her husband. Yeah. So I still don't like it. I still don't think it's acceptable. I understand why we needed to see that, why they needed to tell us that in the story, and also how important it is in within the story of religion, their community, and everything that they're facing. So because they do then when they show the sex scene between her and her husband and how it is more of like a habitual like weekly thing on a schedule. Yeah. So how it was different and there was like no passion. She wasn't really interested into it. So I think that is, I still don't think it's ever acceptable. I felt like in My Policeman, are y'all just hooking up? But like, you think I was asking someone? But like,
I thought the girls were over there or something, and I was like, "What are you talking about?" The girls as in our dogs.
But it was like, from what I recall, they were like, let's go on a trip and let's.
It was an entire affair.
Yes. Yeah. Versus this was, we're being told this whole story of religion and sexuality and coming out, and Rachel Weisz's character is completely now in a different place than Rachel McAdams' character. So all of that makes sense to why this would happen. It wasn't just like this long affair, and like, what is the point of the affair? Yeah.
Okay. I understand.
But it's never. So don't you be, just because people be rolling in up here, Derma, I'm looking at you.
What just happened?
I know you want to leave me. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, for him, no.
Okay, and then the other one, Carol, you guys already know. That's just a feel-good Christmas movie. Although never watch that with family during Christmas.
So many nipples.
I think just 2.
Maybe 4.
But that one was really good. For me, it's just the coloring is beautiful. I love everything about that. But again, coming to terms with their sexuality, Ammonite kind of coming to terms with their sexuality. I did see something when a Fred Johnson,
our other one is down here.
I did see something that they didn't feel like Saoirse and Kate Winslet's character had any chemistry. Did you feel like that?
I felt that was like more of like the period, like the time that they were in.
Yeah.
It's not going to give you Carol vibes when it's like a different time period.
Yeah.
I did feel like there was an attraction there, and like a attraction as in an interest that developed into a physical attraction.
Yes.
But because I can see that it wasn't like, oh my God, I'm undressing you all the time.
Yeah.
But it was like, you're an intriguing person. I want to get to know you.
Yes.
I feel like not a lot of people are that way. They want the sparks and the fireworks first rather than the relationship development and then these sparks.
I think I actually prefer the movies that are you have to wait a bit.
You like slow burns.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
And I would actually be fine with no nudity or sexuality, like sex scenes. I would actually be fine with you just close the bedroom door. That's fine.
Yeah. Do you think that it's weird that we know what a lot of strangers' boobs look like?
And butt cheeks.
And butt cheeks.
Yeah, I feel like we know too much at this point.
That
let's leave it to the imagination.
Yeah, like we know what Saoirse looks like naked.
Yeah.
We know. I have to sneeze.
Bless you, child. Bless you, child.
Thank you.
I do think that I understand we're always going to show it. It is what it is. That's the way we're going.
Yeah.
But I am also appreciative of when you have to get creative and not show it.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, I love those ones. Those ones are probably, I try to watch them all the time. The only thing that is like, as I get older, what I do have an issue with, I'm sorry, is big age gaps.
Oh, same.
That's tough for me because I would never.
Okay, so here's the thing. I almost put Call Me By Your Name.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Really?
Because I like the cinematography. I like the place that they're in. I love the idea that this young man is learning about his sexual identity. However, I feel icky with the age gap because he is so young.
Okay.
And because this older guy is like taking advantage of it. How old is he supposed to be? In his like late 20s?
One of them is supposed to be like 17, right? And then the other one's supposed to be late 20s, I think. And engaged to someone back home. Yeah, it is. I would have to watch that one again because I remember thinking this was a bit overhyped.
Oh, really?
I that's what I thought. I'm sorry. But I did think,
Okay, yeah. So Elio, which is the younger one, is supposed to be 17 and Oliver is supposed to be 24. I don't feel right with that. It's something that I've come to. Like, I didn't think much of it when we saw it.
Yeah.
Probably because I was that 17-year-old being like, oh, if there was some older person, but yeah, I'm not into it anymore.
I think that we are at the age where and this is no offense to you that might be our age and we're like, hey, I'm still there. But I think we have aged out of these adolescent stories of stories of adolescent.
Yes. Adolescence.
Youth. Love stories. We tried watching a movie, an indie movie.
You Can Live Forever, something like that.
Something like that. I heard it was really good. It was talking about it was centered around, again, religion, Jehovah's Witness. I grew up in that, so I was like, okay, maybe I'll watch this movie. But when it's young girls now or young boys, because even what's the one which I think they did a fantastic job. Yes. Oh my gosh.
Wonderful,
the fact that
cozy,
she wrote it.
it.
It's a comic series, turned it into a show, a series, and they still insert animated cute little things that are like a nod back to the comics. It's so genius. It's wonderful. This last season I tried and I was like, I can't do it, bro.
We were on the same page
too old
there.
Bridgerton this last season, girl, I don't know if it was for me. I felt like, is the 30-year-old in the room with me? Because right now I feel like this is like 18-year-old, 19-year-old, 20-year-old. What am I doing watching this?
Yeah.
So I think that Bridget and I are both kind of like, I don't know if I feel comfortable with this. My sister tried to get us to watch The Summer I Turned Pretty. Nah, I'm not trying to look at, if you underage, you ugly. Okay. So I'm not okay with that.
I have a question for you.
What?
If I told you there is actually a prominent age gap in one of your holy trinities, how would you feel about that?
Yes, it's in both of them, Carol and Ammonite.
Oh, that's true.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. The older I get, the more I'm not okay with it.
Okay, but in these movies, you're okay with it?
Yes, because it already made it to my holy trinity.
Oh, it's above reproach now?
Yes, it is above reproach. But I'm always aware of it, of like, they're kind of old. And then you will see... or I don't know if you remember, but in Ammonite, I don't know, honestly, slim pickings. Okay. But in Ammonite, Kate Winslet, it's, I think, alluded that Carol, is her name really Carol Martins, or am I calling her that from Killing Eve? Let me see. Carol Martins. I don't think that's it.
And I know her as from Harry Potter.
Oh, that's right. Is she gay?
Petunia.
So Kate Winslet goes to Petunia. Okay. Yeah. What is her name? Petunia Harry Potter.
I think her real name is Carol.
What is her name?
Did you look up Ammonite?
Why can't it just tell me what her name is? Actress. Okay, it's Fiona Shaw. But let me see. What is she
Ammonite?
playing?
Is it Carol?
No, I don't.
So Carol has nothing to do with Ammonite.
No. I'm on that right now. Hold on. Okay. So, anyways, real quick in Killing Eve, she's Carolyn Martins.
Oh, you were mixing up the names.
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to Fiona. Okay, Kate Winslet goes to get something. What did she go get? Maybe some salve or something?
For the mom's arthritis.
Oh, yes. Okay. Arthritis. And it's alluded that she had something going on with Fiona's character. Mm-hmm. Well, Fiona's character is older than Kate's character. Yes. So I'm wondering, that's why I said, is it slim pickings or whatever? But like these age gap things, like, is it that then Kate's character would kind of then be with Saoirse's character?
Well, no, listen. First of all, it's not as bad as you think it is.
Okay.
However, only because they're older already, but it's based off of, or it's inspired by the life of a British paleontologist, Mary Anning. Okay, right. So Kate's character is Mary Anning, which is supposed to be around 47, 50 years old. And then Saoirse's character is based off of Charlotte Murchison, which she's supposed to be around 28 to 32. In my mind, when they're older, when the younger one is older like that, I'm okay with it.
Okay.
If it's a little bit easier to digest.
Yeah.
Because thinking of a 17-year-old with a 32-year-old is a lot ickier to me.
Yeah. And I think that the age that I am now, 33, I feel like I would consciously choose to be... What happened?
No, I just realized that's like your age now dating your little brother's age.
Yes. But that's why I understand what you're saying, that it's different, where I feel like I have so much more, I guess, wisdom than I did in my 20s. Like, I've learned so much, so that if I choose to date someone in their 40s or 50s, I feel like I have a little bit more control over that, and not necessarily,
you're not like going to be molded or
but I still think that there is an advantage to someone that's being significantly older than the person that they're with, and because how much more wisdom does that person have?
How much more established are they?
Yeah, so I do think it is tricky either way. Age gaps are always a tricky topic, because it's like, well, how do you know? But I think when it's adolescent, 17, 18, no. There's no way. And do y'all even know how to wipe your ass at that point? Like, but like, there's so much that I just feel like that's taking advantage of people. So that is my Holy Trinity. I do love it. I'm trying to see if there's anything. I did have a Harry Styles movie on here because I knew you were going to bring it up about cheating. Okay. I have to mention. Wait, do you have any before?
Well, but just
I love when your lips get stuck to your teeth.
The people would never know this, especially the ones that only listen to audio.
That's true. No, go for it. You go next. No, you go next.
Okay. Well, I have a TV show that is part of my holy trinity. Okay. It is probably you literally been scribbling that I don't even know. Okay. A show that has changed me in many ways. Sense8.
Oh, that one. I forgot about that one. Oh,
it's on Netflix. It was unjustly canceled.
It was. But they made a...
Yeah, but still, it's a sci-fi drama. It's actually from the creators of The Matrix.
Is that true?
Yes. My hesitation in saying this is because they were brothers when they made The Matrix, and now they're sisters.
Okay.
In Sense8. Okay. They transitioned both independently at different times, but that's why I was like, I don't want to get this wrong.
Okay.
But this is a show about 8 strangers from different parts of the world suddenly become mentally and emotionally linked. They are called sensates, so SENSATES, individuals who can communicate, feel, and use each other's knowledge and skills as if they were one. So it is drama, action, and mystery and high intensity, and there are queer characters on it, and I feel like none of the straight characters like batted an eye at these gay and trans characters, so it was very interesting. But that show was so well done. Give it a watch. It's Sense8 as in SENCE. Nope, SENSE 8, the number 8. I loved it. That was a really good one. It, yeah.
I wasn't sure if I would like it because I'm like, this concept is so confusing. When Bridge tried to explain it to me, I'm like, I don't know, I'm gonna have to start from the beginning. Then I got hooked immediately. Excellent show. Excellent. Yeah, I love that one. That one was so good. I forgot about that one.
So if you're looking for something that's like not necessarily sad focused, like this is something that you should be watching.
I agree.
And then I do want to mention just a little tidbit about a show that we've mentioned a few times now, Somebody Somewhere. And when I was looking at the comments
on
when I was looking at like Reddit threads, someone had pointed out it was the first time that they had seen I'm going to read the thing because trying to switch the pronouns is going to mess me up. It was the first time I've seen in media a trans character where their transness wasn't a plot point. They just were. And I was like, who was trans on that show? And I had to look it up. And I realized, that's because I didn't even think about that person being trans. I was just like, that's just that person.
I think I'm trying to remember, Joel?
Yes.
His wrestle with the church and God, I don't think it had to do really with his sexuality. I think he lied about
it. Was his lie
using the church for something else,
not his sexuality.
Yeah.
Even what was his name?
Brad?
SLS. Yeah. St. Louis Sushi.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Even Brad would belong to a church where it wasn't an issue for him.
It didn't come. I mean, it came up a few times because the sister, that was one of the whole things she had an issue with, but they did it so well. And you're right. Who was it? What was her name?
Freddie.
Yeah. That it was just a really good show I felt like, oh my gosh, I want to be friends with like all of those people, that we can kind of make jokes about it, but it's not the only thing that we're talking about. I love, that was such a good show.
Such a good show.
I forgot to put it on my list. I'm terrible.
That's all I have. Well, that's all I want to talk about. But what do you got for me?
I think that was pretty much it. I wanted to mention Wynonna Earp because we did love that one. I felt like that was a comfort show for us when we came out. And that one, the main character's sister is queer. I think bisexual. Yeah. And kind of coming to terms with it. But it is a big part of the story, but they're still trying to fight demons. Like there's like a bigger part. So it is a big part of the story, but it's kind of connected to this major other things going on. So it's like, okay, that's not carrying the story. So I thought they did it really well. I have to mention it. Do you remember this movie? Because I'm like, did I watch it on the plane? And did you not watch it? Portrait of a Lady on Fire.
No, we watched it together.
Oh my gosh,
that was a really good movie.
Okay, now I tried to find it, and I'll have to watch it after. But I remember the last like 5 minutes of the movie just shattered me, and the way that it ends, the way she chose to end it that way, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, it was one of the best movies. I need to watch it again because it was just so good. But it's one of those things that it stuck with me. I can't even remember the exact, I kind of know the lines. It's I think it's actually a French movie, so I mean, you have to know the subtitles. I know the subtitles. And that movie was so good. It is about their relationship, and it is sad, but it was really, really good, and I thought it was beautiful. The filming of it and everything. I really appreciate foreign movies and indie movies. I really try to watch those ones if possible, but they have to like appear on my TV, that we just happen to see a trailer of it, because I'm really bad with searching for them. You know
who's really good at finding foreign movies? Who? And doesn't realize it? It's Nana.
Yeah. And
she loves a really good bad voiceover. And she doesn't realize it.
Yeah. It's like, Nana, this movie, it's not even in English. And she's like, it's not?
Mind you, it is in English in that the voiceovers are in English. But I will watch something with her, and there's been a couple of times where I'm looking at it, I'm like, that is not lining up.
Like their mouths aren't moving yet. Can you not tell?
And she's like, oh, it's a good show though.
Yeah, there was one that I got sucked in when she was here. That was a voiceover.
It was a voiceover. I don't remember what it was.
I don't remember what it was.
Some Western thing.
No, it wasn't. It was like in Sweden or something. And the person goes missing, and it was kind of creepy.
Oh, yes.
Hey, how is a Western going to not be in English?
Well, there are more than...
Are there Westerns in other places that are...
I would say...
cowboy Westerns, or like Western because it's West?
What?
Are Westerns just cowboys?
When that's what I think of as Western. I think of cowboys.
Okay, are cowboys native to the United States only?
I would think so.
I'm not touching that one. Yeah, I'm not sure about that either. I think that was pretty much all on my list, because there was other ones that I'm like, yeah, they were good, but one that was actually not about, I'm trying to remember, I don't think it was about their sexuality. Good Grief. Dan.
Oh yeah.
I don't think it was too much about like their sexuality. I think they're...
The movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it wasn't about his sexuality. It was about grief.
Yes.
But he was gay.
Yes. So that
very
was
good.
Something else. It's still sad though. We just love our sad movies. I think that's... I have Mad Fat Diary on here because...
Oh, amazing.
You got to watch that one in general. But the whole thing is not... Being gay, there's a character on there that's gay, but that's like not the whole point of the show.
There's like an episode dedicated to him coming out, but that's it.
I would say that that's a show that we were talking about, the Perks of Being a Wallflower, Love, Simon. If you want to have that feeling again of when you were growing up, I think they're actually in college though, like transitioning out of high school into college. If you want to get that feeling back, that is such a fun show. It's with heavy stuff. They did so well. I love that show so much. What else you got, babe?
I am disappointed in you.
Well, hold on. What's not on my list?
You sure you want to know?
Yeah.
You're good. You cover your ears. Dickinson.
Oh, how could I forget? That one I love that one.
It's so good.
I forgot that one too. Look at, I was trying to put together everything, okay? And I was like, I don't know what to mention that we were not going to even list them out, but Dickinson is a genius show that is more of a satire on Emily Dickinson's life. But I love it because, oh my gosh, the music, the colors of it, how it was so vibrant. It was so unique how they did it. And I felt like for once I understood Emily's poetry, whereas before I struggled with it a bit. Sometimes I think I take things too literally. So it's hard for me. Like
that makes sense. Yes.
I remember in class and like poetry classes and stuff, and I'm like, like, okay, everyone read through this and then let me know, what you guys got from it. And I was like, okay, I read through it. I'm like, well, I think this one's about war. Ship? Yeah. I'm like, I think it's about war and like, fallen soldiers and stuff like that. And they're like, and some other girl would be like, you know, when you peel back the layers, you have to see that the dirt that they're describing, it actually means like, and we'll go into this whole thing. I'm like, I missed that. And then after I'd be like, oh, I could see, like, and I definitely did see that after the fact, but it felt like I was constantly like the dumbest person in the class.
I would feel that way too.
I could never symbolism, all that stuff, imagery. I don't know. Why didn't they just say it explicitly? Why do I have to guess 100 years later when they're dead and I can't even ask them, you know, like all these, but Dickinson it is amazing. I love it. It's a good show to go back to.
Yeah.
I think they're pretty short episodes too.
They are. And
obviously she's gay in there too. I feel like that again is not the most interesting thing, but this show was brilliant. It was very well done. It was hilarious. I love it. And it's just beautiful. It was beautifully shot.
Yes. I have one last one.
Yes.
That is just like a quick shout out and then we can wrap it up. If you like cartoons.
What?
Steven Universe.
Is Steven gay?
No.
Oh.
There are a plethora of like his little alien friends that are like ranging in their identities, and it's never once addressed that way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's like one of the main characters is two different characters into one. And just the way that they talk about this character coming together and like they are just one being, like just one person. And it's like, oh, they're definitely a couple. They're both girls. Yeah. But it's like, oh, that's so cute. It's like, I love that they don't ever like, this is what this means. And that's what, you know, that's what we do. And this is why it's normal. Like, it's just, it's
cute.
Yeah. It's chill. I really like that cartoon.
Okay. Yeah. I have to check that one out. Last one, because I briefly mentioned it, but it actually can go on this list. Killing Eve.
Yes. There's no words.
No notes, honestly. But
10 out of 10.
That's a wild one. If you like some gore, if you like some crazy wild stories, that one, it's really good. But that's pretty much. Is there any one character that you feel like you identify the most with?
Killing Eve?
No, just in general. Of all the ones that you're like, well, this one kind of either helped me or that you feel like, okay, this is my person of, I feel everything that they are saying, what they represented, like that's me right there.
I don't know. Do you? Can I get back to you on that next week?
Yeah.
Because I don't think I don't know. We did just watch Am I Okay? Was that what it is called?
You didn't mention the other one you wanted to mention.
Breaking Fast.
Yes.
That one's so good.
Yeah. We're trying to watch some gay movies.
Yeah. And I feel like I don't want to do the injustice of running through it, but it is a very good movie, very moving, very like the main character is already out, but his boyfriend was not out with his family, and you know, having to navigate having their relationship, but also breaking up because you guys were not on the same page, and then also just learning that like
they're Islamic, right?
They were Muslim, and it's within that community just trying to come out and navigate like, you know, who's still safe to be around kind of thing. While also I feel like there was a lot of main character development.
Yes.
And that was the point of the movie.
Yeah.
Rather than being the point.
Yeah. It was actually a really good movie. We both at the end of it were like, it's so good.
Yeah. We did watch 3 movies this week at home. We watched Breaking Fast. We watched Am I Okay with Dakota Johnson. And that was actually the character that I was going to say probably I can maybe like feel the most like.
Oh, okay.
Because while I have mainly been attracted to men, when I have been in situations with men, I have been very uncomfortable.
Okay.
So it's like a whole other story.
Yeah.
Okay? But she kind of, you know, she's realizing that maybe she's not straight, and that she can live a life that she actually loves.
That's actually one of the movies that I held off on watching that I thought, I don't think I'm going to like this one, because the trailer for me, I felt like, she's in her 30s, and another thing of, as I'm getting older, I'm turned off by messy 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds. Let's just get wasted, drunk. So I thought like, can we just have people like trying to pay their bills and stuff? I know that's not the most interesting, but it's the most relatable, you know, for us. I mean, I'm sure there's people out there that are getting drunk and stuff, but that's just like, okay, well, I can't relate to that. So it's always hard to find movies that they're not just getting wasted.
Yeah.
But I will say, I am very surprised by Am I Okay? I liked it actually a lot.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really good movie. They did it really well.
The third movie we watched was Twisters.
Well, I partially watched it. Bridge has been wanting to watch it, and then so I was doing some work off to the side, but I was keeping my eye on it.
She gets too anxious in these movies.
I do. That's what it is. I know.
Like she's getting out of the shower. What's happening now?
I was in the shower and I had the door open, and I just hear all this craziness coming out from the living room. Yeah. I'm like, okay, like I need to have it like in healthy doses, so like away from it but still kind of watching it. That's how I'll do it, because
that's how you watch Bird Box too.
Yes. I was scared. I was coloring with my back, and I would keep looking. I was like, oh no, if it's a scary part, no, I'm not gonna watch it.
And she wants to go see 28 Years Later
because it's Jodie. And then I missed the trailer when we were watching Mission Impossible. And Bridge, when I got back, because I went to the bathroom, and Bridge's like, have you watched the trailer?
I had never seen the trailer.
Years Later? And I was like, no, why? Is it good? And she's like, you want to see that? And I was like, is it scary? And she's like, yeah. And I knew it was a scary type of movie. I've never seen the first one, but I was like, anything for Jodie.
She watched the trailer last night and she was like,
yeah. I was like, okay, I don't know how I'm gonna get through this one. I'm just gonna what I usually do in movies, I'll just like look down, like the Sinners. She just dragged her ass on the hardwood fake floor.
She doesn't. She
we
hates
should try that sometime.
No, that's disgusting.
Anyways, I think that's it for us. Because,
I don't think we could actually move that way.
We'd have.
Can you try?
I'd have to.
Can you?
I would have to spread. Yeah, that'd be a little tough. But yes, so I hope you guys have a really great week. Like we said last week, if you are alone, if this isn't not the month for you, if you're like this is a hard month because you're going through family stuff, we have been there, we are there too. Like, we get it. Okay. It's rough, but you know what, this is why we want to keep it light. We want to have some fun. What are your favorite movies? What are the things that bring you joy? Where do you see yourself in the movies that do bring you joy, that you connect with? And we love you guys. We show up because you guys show up. So thank you for listening to us rant.
Insert side note. I have to like get in where I can. If you have a character from a movie or a book that you feel like you most relate to or has made you feel like the most comforted by, I would personally love to know your recommendations. So if you're watching this, leave a comment. If you are listening to it, like I think you can do comments on Spotify. I don't think you can on Apple. So just, or even send us a DM or something. I want to, if you heard me slap my leg, I slapped my leg. But I want to hear what you guys are watching and listening to.
People bugs.
I know.
It always bugs me.
Yeah.
Okay. We love you guys. We hope you have a really great week.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. Bye.
Okay. Now that I have you all to myself, I have a confession to make. I am a fan of ACOTAR. This is something that I did not anticipate because I was a fourth wing girly, still am. But A Court of Thorns and Roses, I started it last week and I finished it in 3 days, audiobook. And it's good. I'm on A Court of Mist and Fury now. I'm looking at the titles and I'm like, I want to get back to it. So can I put the book back on, please? But then I remember the dumb thing that I said, that I wasn't going to listen to audiobooks after 5:30 p.m. That failed today. But yeah, guys, it's got its little hooks into me and I don't know how it's going to go. I'm interested. I'm a little peeved that like, oh, now it's a, love triangle, but whatever. What was that? Oh. But so far I really like it. And now I'm sucked into another long ass series.